Hello, guys. Welcome once again to another episode of Love&Marriage Huntsville panel review. So today we're going to be talking about the episode 3 of Love&Marriage Huntsville. Before we go ahead and talk about the episode, how did you guys feel about the episode? Uh, because coming from the hype of episode 1 and episode 2, now comes to episode 3, did you think that they still delivered that same energy, or did we kind of have a little drop in energy, or did you feel a drop in energy when you were watching the episode?
I definitely did. I mean, but I guess we're just kind of getting to the root of episode 1 and 2, because it has to have some type of resolution. So I guess this is part of the resolution part, but it wasn't quite as engaging, but I did listen.
Yeah, I agree. It started to get back to the way it was before, where you had those long periods of nothing going on in the conversations and just the lulls in the conversation. Like, why does this seem so long? With the new couple, it was too long. There was nothing going on, and with Stormi and Courtney, there was not much going on. So that's the old formula that used to frustrate me a lot about the show, and I think they got right back to that in last night's episode. So hopefully the next episode seems like it's going to be much better and that we can get back to this new reset and refresh that we got in the first two episodes.
Yeah, I actually felt like that way. I was like, oh my god, this episode was so boring. I'm sorry to like say it out like that, but I felt like it was too boring, and I think it pissed me off very well because I wasn't feeling too well. I haven't been feeling too well this week, so I kind of like watching it in bed. I was like, wow. So this is what I'm depriving myself of my night sleep to watch. It did not. It did not give what it was supposed to give at all. But I kind of still understood that I don't think we would always get that over hype and everything. Sometimes we'll get this, and I think they probably wanted to touch on um some other storylines. They didn't want to focus on, oh, this season is going to be about this person. So I understood that they had to like show other people's lives, so it was understandable.
Right.
It was understandable. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the few things that did happen in today's episode. Well, I think we started the episode started with Nell meeting up with Melody. And one thing I took away from Nell meeting up with Melody is that I loved it that Nell decided, as much as she said she did not like the way that Martell was arrested, and her reasoning is understandable. I love the fact that she still allowed Mel to explain her own point of view, because some people will just, as she has had that thought that, oh, because I'm black, I'm from the black community, I have black children, I don't want to see this sort of things happening to black people, I'm there for the black people. Then you don't want to listen to this person's perspective on why they did do what they did. You get. So I love that she gave Melody a chance to explain her own POV, and she kind of understood that, okay, yes, this was for your own security. It was necessary. You had to do it, and it was uncalled for the situation that you found yourself in, and you just put yourself in a tight corner, and you were in a tight corner. You made a decision to protect yourself. What did you feel about the fact that she decided to listen to Melody's point of view before finally coming to a conclusion about the whole situation?
Well, I believe, Mel she's mature, you know what I'm saying? And she's been on, I'm pretty sure, both sides of the fence, you know.
Yeah.
And she can kind of understand where Melody's coming from because she's a woman first. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And when you're playing dirty and you're playing with the ugly stick, you know, questions need to be answered, you know. And I'm glad that she went to Melody first to understand her reasoning why, which is a very good, valid reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I understand, her point of reasoning,
Yeah.
was to go to Melody first and understand why, and then later on go to Martell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy that she got a chance to explain herself because from the clips that they showed when she and Stormy were having that conversation, I know people were really upset and were getting in her comments
Yeah.
saying a lot of nasty things. Yeah, so it's
That's
like,
it. Yeah.
yeah, so she explained it well that considering the history that she had with her, that's and we don't know which was filmed first. Because she did
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Yeah.
allude, yeah, like she didn't know. It sounds like she doesn't really follow social media. So
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't know what's going on or what people are saying and the things that people are accusing her of. But I thought she did a good job of explaining herself and how she felt about that. I saw it more so on the line on the I saw it more so along the lines of a case by case basis is what I think
Mm-hmm.
she was trying to say. And that I did not know enough about the situation in order to make that judgment. So it's like, and
Yeah.
then even in this episodes, we did get to hear a little more information,
Yeah.
stuff that we didn't hear before. But we'll get to that part. I'm gonna go ahead and go on mute.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask about something else she kind of hit on because, I think it's kind of more of the thing that people were kind of pissed off at her over when, people were going at her comment section was that why would she insinuate that because he's a black man, he has like the green card to like, okay, not go to jail because black, it doesn't mean that as black people, no matter the situation, no matter how everything is, just because you're black gives you a leeway to like, okay, he's black, let's be sympathetic to them or sympathetic to this person because of his this person has this particular race. I think like that was why a lot of people were coming for her because the way she was trying to play it over the race stuff, like, oh, because we're from the black community, we should like be more sympathetic to the guys, even if we know that irrespective of whatever race you are, people commit crime. So I don't think just because you're of a certain race, should be given a free card to be like, okay, fine, let's give this person a leeway, let's give this person an excuse to do or react or behave whatever way they want to behave. And I think that's why a lot of people were coming for her because it sounded, if not because right now a lot of people watched the episode and saw that okay, she just made a judgment, and I understood her own perspective, you know, being a black person and having black children, you don't want that kind of situation. But that aside, still doesn't mean that we should allow things to go out like that just because the person is of a certain race. Like we should be like, okay, fine. For me, I felt like that should not have been her first thought. Like, oh, because he's black, I don't want to see a black man in jail. Like, if the black man committed the crime, of course, he should be in jail. That should not be the first thing in your mind because he's black. It should not be the first thing in your mind should be what was the crime the person committed? What offense did the person do before? That's my own perspective. So if you have your own perspective, you can literally just point it out. But my own perspective is I feel like it should be first, what is the crime this person committed? What crime did this person commit that warrants them enough to say, okay, fine, you needed to be in jail, we need to lock you up, before we talk about, oh, what's the color of your skin? that is where me, I did find fault with her. But it's not like I like felt like, okay, she really made a mistake. But I understood her own perspective, but I still, in my own view, like she should have first cared more about the crime before the color of the person.
I mean, I agree, but I'm looking at it like it really shouldn't matter who you are. What should matter is what you did and how you did it. And all state and city and local laws should apply to every human being in that state, city, or domain. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be, oh, because he's a man, because he's a black man, or because she's a woman, she's a black woman. You know,
Yeah.
being diddied is being diddied. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter who it comes from. It's how vile it is and how far you're willing to take it. He was willing to take it all the way. Not once did he stop and think, hey, that this could be like hurting our co-parentship by me doing this. This could hurt one of my daughters. This could hurt my son. You know what I'm saying? He's starting to be the perfect villain in all of this.
Yes.
And every storyline needs a villain. And he just keeps wanting to play the villain part. He keeps putting on that villain coat, and zipping it up, you know. Like he doesn't want to get out of this. He thrives off of this, I can tell. You know what I'm saying? Because he has nothing else. Because he's not trying to plan a future for later. All he could see is Melody. Melody, if I can't get her, I'm gonna get her back. And what I mean by get her back is embarrass her, humiliate her, antagonize her.
Yeah.
So he's playing the villain very well. But it doesn't excuse him from the law of the land. That's all I want to say about that.
Triviality.
Oh, I don't have anything additional to say,
Oh, okay.
except that
Um,
it sounds like somebody's opening and closing drawers.
from my end,
Yeah, it sounds like you're in an office and somebody's rolling around in a chair. They're opening and closing file cabinets.
really?
Yeah, I heard that too. That wasn't me.
You heard the file cabinets living from
Yeah,
like
I heard something.
the metal ones that you have to unlock with the key.
Yeah,
They're usually like
the old
beige
office
or
type.
beige or black. Yeah, you pull them. That's what it
Wow.
sounds like.
Probably I have to go back to my old browser because I never used to experience this in my old browser. So I don't understand. What probably is this browser? I just knew that there was something gonna be up. So probably by next week I'm gonna figure everything out. Okay. So she decided Nell in the meeting between Nell and Melody, they decided to talk about the side chick situation between her and her husband. And how did you feel about the side chick stuff? Although I was disappointed. Before we go ahead and talk about almost everything they talked about, am I the only one that felt like some of the topics that Nell and Melody were talking about was kind of rushed, or probably is editing? But I did feel like they didn't really go in depth apart from the arrest stuff, and when they talked about Melody, no, Nell saying that, talking about the fact that she didn't come to Melody's event. But even with that, I felt like the conversations were rushed up, and they didn't really. they didn't really talk. Like it was not in depth. Like the conversation were not in depth. We just like, okay, let's just rush this thing off. Just let's just do a fast forward and let's move on to the next topic. I don't know what I
Yeah.
just meant.
Yeah, it was rushed.
Because there were some things I felt like they should have talked about, or they should have talked in depth more about, and it's before you know, they're like, okay, I'm like, I don't understand. How are we skipping? Like this topic needed a lot of talks. How are we skipping over it? How are we skipping over it? So it's very disappointing. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the fact that they talked about the the side chick thing. One of the topics I felt like they did not talk very much about is the side chick stuff. I hope that it would come up later on. Maybe they are trying to save it up for another episode, but I felt like they didn't allow Melody and Miss Nell to talk very much about the side chick comment from her stepdaughter.
Yeah, the only thing I really got is there was a big family blow up, and I guess her stepdaughter went to social media and was saying that Nell was the side chick to Chris's last marriage. And from what Nell is saying is she didn't know that he was even married and going through a divorce, and and she didn't consider herself as a side chick. You know, I, geez, that's a good excuse. Well, to me, that's a good excuse when you're like a teenager, because it happened to me. You know what I'm saying? I was a teenager, and the guy that I was talking to, I didn't know he had a wife. I mean, I never went to his house. I never thought about those kind of things. Like, let me go to his house. Let me see if there's any pictures there, any women's things there. No, I never went to his house. We were just like out hanging out, dating. You know, and once I found out, it was like I was in love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was. And oh, a whole lot of stuff happened after that. Trust me, it did. Nothing really nice, nothing I'm really proud of, you know, but it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? I'm young. Let's not forget I was out there since I was 14, you know.
Wow.
So you could just look at it this way. I was taken advantage of. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I'm
in your
saying?
defense, you were young. You were a
Yes.
teenager.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
what I'm saying, that's
Yeah.
a good excuse if you're young. But, you know, at these ripe old ages, you should have been to his house. You should have asked those questions. Those questions should have been answered before you started dating. Like, are you married? What, you going through a divorce? Well, how long have you guys been separated? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because me as a grown woman, if I'm ever in that position again, I'm going to have to wait until you are completely divorced before we start talking. Because I don't have time for all that.
Yeah, and now you can Google people, but back then,
Yeah,
there was no Google.
true
But you're
that.
right. I don't think she was a teenager at the time, right? So she
Nah,
was old enough. If this happened, and we don't know, we don't have the details, so that's why I don't
true.
like to comment on stuff. What is that? Oh my! What
I know I hear it. I don't know. It sound like somebody hurting a cat or something.
sounds like somebody is looking for something. Anyway, that's all I have to say. We don't have all the details. Ultimately, that is their business. And it seems as
True.
though he's going to be upset about it. And maybe he'll give more context to it next episode.
Right.
But men are good for that. Now, I don't think it's too simple because you can Google people. But back then, people would just say, are you married? No. But like you said, if you didn't go to their house or drove by past the driveway, see if there was a minivan in the driveway, or a family car, then you wouldn't know because they do lie and say that they're not. Is she there? I guess she's having some technical difficulties. Okay, so then what happened next? After that, so we saw them playing pickleball. Oh, the stand up live. How did you feel about Nell's excuse for not attending?
Uh, I can understand, being sold out, but if I really wanted to go, I'd have been like, Melody, girl, do you got some extra tickets? Because I like to be there. If it ain't nothing but behind stage, I'd like to be there. So, I would definitely would have reached out to my friend, you know.
Yeah, and as a cast member, like, why would you even be trying to buy a ticket? I think I would have just asked, can I come? And then if they say, oh, well, yeah, you can get a ticket online, then I know, okay, I can buy a ticket. So that was kind of odd that none of them were there except for Stormy. That was kind of odd. And didn't she say Stormy bought her tickets in December
Yeah, four
when it
of
was announced? Right. So
them.
Stormy was determined to go, it sounds like. But the other people, yeah.
Yeah.
But then one excuse she gave was that she was in Atlanta. Then the other one, I didn't quite get it. Was it
Yes.
the Atlanta thing, or was it because it was sold out, or was
I,
it
I,
both?
I don't know. I think it was probably a combination of them both. Atlanta sold out, and then her stepdaughter. And hey, she had a lot on her plate.
That is true. And then we have to remember, I believe she has said that she's not on social media. So a lot of the stuff that we're privy to, if you're not on Instagram and know what all the chatter is about, now I'm
Right.
not saying that that's an excuse for not attending, but like some of this other ancillary stuff, she may not even be aware of it. But I was surprised that she was not there. Now
Yeah,
the
I
other two,
was.
Kimmy and Tisha, we'll talk about them later, but Nell, that was kind of odd, especially since don't they live in Huntsville?
I thought they did.
Yeah. Okay, Uzo, are you there? I guess maybe she's busy doing that office work. Okay, what was
Oh,
next?
sorry, my
Oh, you're there. Okay.
my
I thought you had some
my cat
papers to file.
no, my cat literally like jumped on the fan and kind of hit it, so she was bleeding. So I
Oh
needed to
my
check on.
gosh. Oh
Oh no.
no.
Is she okay?
I guess my younger sister is checking on her. I hope she is because right here is late, so I can't really
Oh
go
my.
to the vet or anything. So that'll be till
Oh,
tomorrow.
oh my goodness.
Okay, is that ice?
Oh,
Is
I'm
that ice?
sorry. So she jumped into the blade of the fan?
Like she jumped on top. I don't even I don't even know what happened. All I knew was that I heard the noise of the fan hitting someone. So maybe she jumped on top of the
So
wardrobe.
that was the cat making that noise. I'm so sorry.
The
Oh
wardrobe was
wow.
kind of close to the fan. You need to see
Oh,
her eye.
poor kitty.
Sorry. Clean is very well. Then tomorrow we'll check on her on the vet. Wow. Oh, sorry
Oh,
for
goodness.
stepping out for I was so shocked. Like I didn't even know that it's even the youngest cat that I have. So
Oh, so sorry.
yeah. Okay, you guys have talked about the other topic of Nell not going to Melody's event, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. But this Stormy stuff that we're trying to show us about her husband, Han. Okay, let's talk about Stormy with the new girl Trish. Um, I felt that conversation was unnecessary. And do you really think the girl, like she said that this lady called her to um be how did she say it, to be a trainer or something? Do you think that um Latisha literally called her that she should be her trainer, or it's just like a storyline? Because for me, I felt it was a storyline, not really something realistic that was happening.
Um, you know, we asked for them to bring new life up in there, and I'm just hoping that Trish and her fiance or boyfriend will definitely do that because, sometimes we get tired of watching Letitia and Marceau and Kimmy and Maurice,
Yes, yeah.
you know. So hopefully by them introducing them into the show, it'll bring a little new life. And of course we have Sonny and Moses, of course, so you know, yeah, I you know, maybe hopefully, she's trying to get in shape, Letitia, you know. I mean, I'm down for it.
Um, but there was
Yeah.
some.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, as far as content, you had asked about, do I think there's just a storyline? Was Tisha actually looking for a trainer? Apparently, the lady was already Destiny's trainer, and that they all go to the same gym. So I don't know. It could be a little bit of true story that maybe Tisha was looking for a trainer, but then again, like you said, living for my girls, I think that they were always looking for somebody to add. And Destiny said that she didn't know that the lady was filming because she said, I think she said that Tisha said, "Oh, I want you to be my trainer," and that's when Destiny said, "Oh, that's my trainer," and that allegedly Destiny did not know that the lady was already filming on the show. Allegedly, I believe that's what Destiny said on her YouTube channel
Podcast.
the other day. Yeah.
Oh, so the lady is Destiny's trainer too.
Yes, yeah, initially was Destiny's trainer, and then I believe the storyline is that Tisha approached Destiny and said, "Oh, I want you to look at this trainer or something like that, or I'm thinking of getting this trainer." Because they all go to the same gym. So that's when I guess Tisha walked her over to the lady, and then Destiny said, "Oh, this is my trainer." She's already been training with the lady. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. I hope that for me, I don't care whatever storyline they want to use to bring her in. I hope she can deliver. But she was talking about some certain things that she's gone through in life, her past marriage, and the situation. But I think when she was saying her story, I kind of was laughing. The reason why I was laughing was that how would you go through that in your relationship? And you sit down there and they tell you, okay, this will happen earlier in the season, like when she meets Martell and be like, oh, I know him, and you're like so happy that, oh, I know him, and it's Martell, you are doing those sweet eyes. So I'm like, did she really go through that in her marriage, or is she really? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep my comments till I really understand what's the relationship between her and Martell, but I don't understand how she went that through because her storyline is very like I felt sad for her, and I'm happy that she's in a good place now, that she's with a man that literally loves and respects her unlike her ex. But I don't. Well, let me just keep my comments till we fully so we fully understand what is Martell's relationship with her.
Nah, I can kind of figure it out. I mean, all you got to do is connect the dots. She didn't look too happy to see him, and he just kind of looked at her like, "Oh, you." He said she's been over there before to his crib, so we know what happens when you go to Martell's crib.
Yeah, but we don't know why she was over there if she was over
Yeah,
there because they go to
that's
the same gym. Yeah.
mm-hmm. That's
And
what
so I'm
I'm saying.
assuming
I
the
don't know.
husband, I'm assuming the boyfriend must go to the same gym too. So maybe it was just like a,
Yeah,
hey, let's come over for a beer or whatever. Who knows? It may have been something that was, you know how they try to make us think is one way and it's actually not.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That I really want to just first allow it play out because sometimes they like to make us like think that it's something else that is not. Then when you watch the full, thing, you just be like, oh wow, it was not really what I was expecting. So, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to keep my comments until I understand the full scope of her and Mattel's situationship.
I wonder why they had Stormy bring her on the show. Well, I guess instead of Tisha.
I guess probably because maybe because she really worked on Stormy, we could see the change in Stormy's body. So they felt like if we use maybe Latisha has not really been, we've not really seen Latisha too much on gym.
But
We've not
that's
really
not
seen her.
Stormy's trainer. That's not Stormy's trainer. That's Destiny's trainer.
Yeah, but Stormy said something about, remember when I used to do your
Do
hair
your
back in the
hair.
day?
Yeah, but that sounded like that was a while ago. That's why I'm
Yeah,
just like, and I guess she couldn't bring her through Destiny because Destiny was not fully on the
It's
show yet.
new, and
So I
yeah,
guess
she's not
what's the
a
best option?
like, yeah. Probably
Yeah,
they
that
looked
makes
at the fact that Stormy has been in this show and she's still like a reoccurring. We don't know the state of Destiny's situation. We just
right.
know for this season and this her storyline. And you know, one thing about Destiny, she's not consistent. So it's like, okay, after this Moses, whatever thing, what is going to be the future of Destiny? What do we know would be going on with Destiny? So, and she might not really be open like she was all those previous seasons that people were asking her to leave the show. So I feel like they just they realized that okay, the safer place to go through is Tommy. At least Tommy is telling us her story. Even if they
Yeah.
might not show everything, she's at least showing us her reality, not trying to hide up on everything that is going on in her life. So probably they just went with the safer option. We don't
And
know how
Stormy,
it's gonna.
yeah, Stormy seems to be the person this season who is driving all, weaving everything together as far as going from person to person, getting the
Yeah.
story told. Yeah, for the season, as opposed to, I guess Kimmy would have been the person who normally would do that sort of thing, but Stormy seems to be doing a much better job, more interesting job of it so far. But the scene was so boring between the two of them, and I can understand this is the person's her first time on camera, so she has to get used to it being filmed, trying not to look at the
Mhm.
camera, trying to look
Yeah.
interested. Because that scene with she and the boyfriend, oh gosh, that was
Oh my
actually
god. Oh
deep.
my. Oh. I was even saying, please just keep.
There
I
was
think I was.
nothing going on.
I think I was even watching something else on my phone. I was just like, when it ends, let me just know what, because it wasn't giving like they had the energy for TV.
Right.
It wasn't giving me that, and I understood because they're just new, so it's just brown new. So I'm giving them that grace. I'm not gonna jump the gun on them.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give them that grace. Let's see how this will play out because really we did need fresh blood on
We
the show.
do. And he's
Yeah.
attractive, but he wasn't well groomed.
Mm.
I think he should have been had his hair trimmed, his haircut, his beard trimmed nicely. Yeah, he's an attractive guy, but I was like, oh gosh, he should have been well groomed to be on screen like this. He needed to have his line wasn't edged up properly. I don't know. Did you guys notice his beard? He could have been groomed a lot better.
he's a little rough around the
A
edges
little
for
rough,
you
and for the
now.
title to be a beefcake. Okay, so I was expecting, okay, this big, huge guy, and but he just could have been cleaned up a lot more for my taste.
Yeah. But I'm gonna give them grace. I want to see the dynamics. I want to see how this is gonna play out. So I'm really just hoping. I just felt like maybe this episode was just like an introduction. Let's just see how this will play out. So probably when we see them with other cast members, I want to see who their friends are going to be on the cast. You know, always there's gonna be a side. So I want to see whose side they will be at. So all those things I just want to see. So it's nice that we have fresh blood. Although I'm disappointed that it's only one, I expect to see like maybe like two fresh blood. But let's just see how that would play out. Then we had, for me, I felt the only thing that really went so, I felt like it was very important in the episode was when Melody, Tisha, Kimme, and yeah, Kimmi and Tisha met up. I love where they met up. It was like nice, and they talked about a lot of things. Kimmy talked about the fact that her mom was diagnosed. I felt bad for her because, going from being diagnosed to getting okay, getting treatment, then going to your mom being diagnosed, it can be exhausting. And I felt bad for her. And thank God that she said her mom is doing okay.
Okay, your voice just went out. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't hear her either. But in regards to that scene, did you notice that they were moving so fast with planting those plants? I'm thinking, why are they doing that so fast? You know, they're
Yeah.
just digging just so fast and quickly, just thinking this is a scene. Why were they planting so quickly? I thought, horticulture, is it horticulture? Horticulture, or whatever they were doing with the plants. Isn't that supposed to be like a relaxing activity? They were doing and digging so fast. Oh, she dropped off. But anyway, okay, so how did you feel about first we'll talk about when she asked them why they weren't at the event. How did you feel about Kimmy's response? Well, let's start with Kimmy and Tisha's response.
Um, well, I understand Letitia's response because of what happened the last time she came to one of Mel's functions. She got escorted out. I understand. I would need an invitation, especially directly from that person, in order for me to attend, you know. So I understand her excuse for that. Um, Now with Kimmy, you know, I haven't been reading what they've been saying to her and in the little comment boxes. I haven't been reading any of that. You know, these are just simple women with husbands that are happen to be on a reality TV show. I don't dislike none of them. You know what I'm saying? So, if that's the type of comments that she's getting to where she's not really wanting to be in the public eye because she doesn't know, where all this animosity is coming from and if it's directly towards her, some people can't really deal with all that, you know?
Right. And you made a good point of saying these are people who just happen to be on a reality TV show. And I think sometimes that gets lost. And some people forget that these are real people because even with her, she has been
Mhm.
going through a lot. And I
Right.
was surprised at, there were, lots of people did not give her much grace during her situation. And then I
Right.
don't know if you remember, she had a car accident. And at
No, I
first,
did.
oh, this was, I don't remember. This was like maybe this time last year.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't remember. She had a car. What is this, May?
Mhm.
She had a car accident. She wasn't hurt or anything. I think it was a hit and run, I believe. And she had
Oh, good.
posted it on Instagram. And at first, people were, asking if she was okay. And then within like a couple of hours, her Instagram was flooded with all of these nasty messages.
Oh, jeez.
Right. But you know what? But I'm thinking sometimes some of these nasty messages, I'm starting to think it's just like the same person. Maybe two or three people who have multiple accounts and they're
Mhm.
just posting just mean stuff because it's sort of like the same comments just said a different way.
Mhm.
So in her defense, she may not have known what she was walking into,
Right.
but
Sorry.
they should have told Melody something. Don't just not show up. You could have told her, I would like to come, but I'm concerned because I don't know how the crowd is going to receive me, or I don't know what the setup is going to be like. What is the setup? I don't know. Are we going to have to interact with some of the people, or can we choose where we want to be seated? Because I don't want anyone saying anything to me. I don't know if they bothered to inquire what the
Right.
setup was going to be, or did they just not show up? So that wasn't cool.
Right. But I do remember the last episode when they were discussing it. They didn't look like they were willing to go anyway, even if they were invited.
But I wanted to, sorry guys that I went off. My network just went over since today is not just a good day for me.
Oh, okay.
Um when it came to that situation where they were giving their reasons, I felt like Latisha was not being honest with herself, that she was lying. Because watching last week's episode, the fact that she did say she didn't want to be there because of Melometers, then coming to this episode, her reason was like, I didn't get an invite. How? Why was what for me? I felt like, why was she scared to tell Melody this was? That's why I appreciate Kimmy I do appreciate Kimmy in this situation because Kimmy went ahead and said the truth. Like, this is my, this is what I think. This is what happened. I did not go because of, I don't know the audience. I didn't feel like I was safe in that situation. At least she was honest with it. But I felt like Letitia was like lying because how did it come to where is the invite? If we roll back to the tape to the part where she was talking with Destiny, she literally said she didn't want to be there because of Melody's fans.
But
And
that
she
was
knew
that
that.
that little scene was filmed after the fact, FYI, allegedly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
like a reenactment. I shouldn't say reenactment because Tisha posted on Instagram, oh, that was a cute Valentine's Day scene. And the event was in January.
oh, so they had to just react the
Or just
situation.
record, just film something because it sounds as though they wanted to say some negative things about her fans. And then allegedly, that's what it sounds like. So then that would make it more credible as to why perhaps they didn't show up. Allegedly.
Mm, okay. So the real reason why she didn't show up is because she didn't get an invite. And when she did they did like their weekend, when they did a throwback to that event where Melody kicked her out, I kind of laughed. I didn't. I was laughing. I was like, it's very funny to me that she remembered that situation and that's why she didn't want to go. But the fact is, this was an event by the boss, and I feel like I'm still gonna go back and say I feel like Carlos King did not do an amazing job when it came to that event. And this is my reason. When we check out what he did in Love and Marriage, I don't know, did you catch the one he did for Love and Marriage, GC? Everybody was there. Every single person. Irena was there, Ashley was there, Joy was there. Even if they are not the closest of friends, even if they are not are in good terms now, but they showed up and he invited the three of them. Like he on the banner, on the poster, or whatever it is, he put um Joy, Ashley, Erena. Those were the people that was going to be on the event. But
But
this
that's
one,
the difference. Right. That's the difference. It was for that cast, but this one was just for her. So you have to keep that
yeah.
in mind.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why I say I would literally still go back to Carlos because I think he did a
Oh,
poor
okay.
job.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not blaming them as like Latisha and Kimmy. I'm saying Carlos did a poor job when it came to the event. If you know you wanted to do this for Huntsville and you wanted to do it in the way of okay, all my cast members of my shows, then you should have done the same thing for Huntsville because it's not giving the illusion that I'm only going to go to the person that makes me the biggest money. And I know that if I invite um say Melody is coming, a lot of people are going to buy my ticket. Yes, it was sold out. Yes, we appreciate that. But you went ahead and went and did DC and invited every single lady on the cast. It doesn't make sense. You should have done it every single lady on the cast member. So there's no way if he had made it, it was supposed to be Latisha, Melody, and Kimmy in that event. There is no way. I don't care whether Kimmy says Melody's fans are gonna be more than my fans. As far as it's an event where Kimmy, Melody, and Latisha is on the whatever they do, whether on the website, on the tickets, or whatever, being advertised that they are the one they would have been there. But you made it from the beginning that it was only Melody. So now, when I first saw that event, that okay, this is Melody's event, I was saying that this is Melody's event. Do you know what I thought? That okay, maybe in the next week we would have Latisha's event, or probably Latisha and Kimmy's event. If they look at the fact that maybe Latisha could not draw as much fan, they can make it like the Scots in general, an event about the Scots in general. That is what I did think.
Now, who's going to buy tickets to go see that?
can't tell me that you can't tell me that Melody is the only one that has a fan base. You when you
I
go
think
on.
so. A large fan base. I don't think the other ones do. Unless you're talking about, but okay, to be in their defense, I think maybe Tisha's fans would be down in Birmingham or Bessemer, which is far away, like maybe too far for people to drive.
But a lot of
But
people drove down from Melody's event.
right, but
More than
look who they were driving to see.
well,
Let's
that
be
that
honest. So they could rent out an auditorium or whatever they had to rent out. I'm sure that wasn't cheap. They may have had to split the cost of the tickets. I don't know. But they had to rent out that space and it was sold out. How would they duplicate that with
Bring the
anybody else with that
Martell.
cast? Maybe
Put
that man, maybe
Martell.
the only person.
okay,
But
maybe
other,
they could bring Martell, like you said.
yeah, the women would probably show up.
Yeah. So I felt like that was a little bit bias of Carlos. And if he knew, and me, I'm still gonna say it, if he knew that Letitia and what's her name? Letitia and Kimmy cannot bring in that crowd like he expected, then he should have done it together. Because the reality is Joy could not have brought in that crowd alone. Ashley couldn't have brought in that crowd alone. Elena couldn't have brought in that crowd alone. So he did everybody. He still brought in like one or two people to make the guests be like, okay, even if I'm not going for Ashley, I'm not going for Rena, I'm not going for Joy, I'm going for this person. At least I'll be entertained in one way or the other. You know, the one he did with Dr. Heavenly Quad, he brought in a lot of people to make. If you were not Dr. Heavenly's fan, you are your Quad's fan. If you're not Quad's fan, you're this person's fan. So he
Actually,
has
I'm
the
sorry to interrupt you, but that was Tamar. It was not for Quad and Heavily. Quad and Heavily just happened to come. Wasn't it Tamar's event? Living for My Girls?
I
It was for Tamar. It wasn't for those other people. They just came as friends
um,
of.
but the thing is,
But they are stars. Uso, those people are stars over here. They are stars.
Yeah.
so
Tamar.
Tisha is not a star. Latisha is not a star.
No.
They're reality TV stars.
But they're not. I wouldn't say they are stars. I mean, we know Melody is a star. Tamar. I mean, these people are like marquee people who you could sell out an event for. I doubt if they would sell out an event for the Scots. I mean, as much as I like Marceau. I think he's entertaining and he's funny and everything, but I don't think I would pay to go see him. Like, why would I
Oh
do that?
wow!
To
With
be
the way
honest,
he likes you.
I don't think I would pay. To be honest, I don't think I would.
Mm. Oh well,
Now, Miss
I
Wanda, maybe because it would be funny. She'd be funny, but yeah.
yeah, but I feel
But I hear
like
what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But it's as far as for it to be a success, he started
yeah.
with her, which makes perfect sense. But as far as him duplicating it with the rest of the cast, come
I
on.
don't think it would work out. Not unless it was
Right.
Martell. Not unless it was Martell.
Unfortunately, yeah, Martell, you would have lots of women who would go because when he goes live, you should read some of those comments those women are saying to him.
Oh my
Despite
Really?
god!
everything, yeah, the women are
Oh my
still, oh, you
god!
look good.
So
Oh, oh,
tasty.
huh?
As in the comments are always on fire. You'd be like, whoo,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Jeez.
So
He's a hot commodity.
mhm. He's hot. We're gonna give it to him. He's hot. You know, he's hot.
Yeah. Yeah, in his
But
own little sick way.
but I did understand their own perspective of why they were not even. But I felt like even if you I don't know whether they're on the basis of calling regularly, I felt like they should have, messaged and be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry I couldn't be like this. Like Miss Anne said, kudos to Stormy. I appreciate Stormy any day, anytime. I don't care what the fans say about me, what they feel like me and Melody is going on. I'm giving kudos to Stormy for her being in that event, buying a ticket on time, not caring about the fans. And at the end of the day, the fans didn't even care about her being there.
No, they didn't.
if you watch through the playback, I didn't think they cared that she was there. They only cared for Melody. Then when Sonny and Moses came up, they were concerned about it. They did not care about Stormy. So I felt like maybe they didn't just want to bother themselves.
Yeah, and maybe they did not know what reception they were going to receive. And another thing we have to consider, some of these negative comments, I think that some of these people are just trolls just saying nasty
Yeah.
things. Yeah. And that, if you see a person face to face, they probably are not going to meet you
Yeah.
with, yeah, the same
Mhm.
vitriol that you may think that they are going to, because it seems as though people kept it
Yeah.
respectful. You said Stormy was there and didn't have any issue.
Mm-hmm. She didn't have any issue. The only person that had issue was Sunny, and it
Oh,
was
yeah.
only because she was on stage.
And the way she was talking, yeah, the
Yeah.
people were just shocked, probably like, "What
Yeah.
is?" Yeah,
So well, at the end of the day, it's your peace over everything. So if they felt like their peace needed to be protected and stay, I I understand. But the fact that, and I love the way they also allowed Melody to explain the situation between her and Martell. I love that they, try to, because everybody, when they hear, they always bring it down to text message, like it's just a text message, this kind of thing. So I love that Kimmy and Latisha kind of made, listen to Melody's explanation of everything. And, there is nobody like Tisha said, I have done a lot of intimate things with my husband. So it's not going to be appropriate for me that tomorrow I see maybe an ex girlfriend or a girlfriend or an ex lover or a side chick. It would not make sense at all. So I love that they did understand and like kind of reason with her, because that was what I was like. I hope they would kind of understand her perspective, because most times you see them always wanting to flock to Martell's, situation. So I was happy that they did do that. I was happy they did do that. What did you guys think about the fact that they listened to Melody's explanation to why she took the decision that she took?
Well, I feel like if it would have been either one of them in the same situation, they probably would have did the same thing, probably even sooner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, because you can't have no naked information about me showing all, trying to talk about, you gonna show all my nakedness to the world, and think I'm not gonna do anything about it. That you're threatening me with it, you know? And it's like I'm not trying to be famous in that way, and what I do in my bedroom, if you're my significant other, I don't expect you to be showing the world just because we broke up and you upset.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure there's some things that Melody could say about Martell that none of us know. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he had bad breath in the morning. Maybe his farts stink. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he leaves his little pissy drawers on the floor when he takes a shower. Maybe he pisses all over the toilet. You see what I'm saying? She's not saying anything. She's keeping it under wraps. So why is he? Well, I understand why he is, because he's losing. He's losing his grip on Melody. He knows at this point he'll never get her back. So why not try and hurt her? You can't have her, hurt her. That's his motto. Humiliate her, disgrace her. And no matter what he does, every time he does something, it makes women more and more angry and they get on her side. Because, like, why are you doing this? What is the reason? It ain't like he was carrying all them babies for you to find out none of them are yours. You know what I'm saying? You weren't tricked into anything. Everything that you did it because you wanted to. And he thinks she ain't supposed to step back and be like, you know what, I don't deserve this. I'm not dealing with this. Any
Mm-hmm.
person would. That just because you marry a person doesn't mean you stuck at the hip
Mm-hmm.
24/7. When the marriage is bad, the marriage is bad. When it's time for it to end, it is time for it to end. That's why they make divorces.
Mm. Uh, I'm so over it, but I'm happy that everybody. It seems like almost all the cast members. But I love that Melody did tell Latisha that I'm gonna have words with your husband. I can't wait for that
Yes. Oh, that's
moment.
gonna be good. That's gonna be hilarious. I think those two like going back and forth with each other.
Yeah,
She said,
I
"Yeah, I would
love.
get him." I
I
can't
love that she
wait.
said, you know what? I'm not even supposed to be saying this to you, but don't worry. I'm gonna have that word with your husband, so you're aware that I'm gonna have words with your husband.
Yeah, and I
And
think that's production driven too, because I believe they know that people like to see those
like,
two have.
yeah,
Yes, like why would she have a talk with her husband in particular? Because you know that our audience wants to see that. We love to see them together. It's going to be funny. It's going to be great, and I think they
it,
enjoy it. Because watch,
yeah,
they both have a slight smile or smirk on their faces. Watch, they can't keep a straight face when they're going
yeah.
at it.
It's
Yeah,
always a funny. It's like they don't believe in what they're saying to each other.
right. Yeah, so maybe they have a mutual respect for each other,
Yeah,
despite all of this.
Right, but I like
yeah,
the way that she does confront whatever she needs to confront, and I'm
and
happy
let
that
it
she
go.
even let Letitia know, hey, I'm coming for you, dude. You know what I'm saying? I liked it that.
What did
Yeah.
Tisha say? Did Tisha say anything? I don't remember.
She
Did
was
she say?
like, she just had to nod her head. What was she
Oh,
supposed to
okay.
say?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like she understood that her husband was kind of wrong in kind of
Oh, yeah,
putting her.
because he gave a statement. Yeah, yeah. She
Yeah,
said, but he gave a statement. And then she said, oh, well, they didn't play all of it. But why is he
yeah,
giving statements?
yeah. Because that's what
Be
Melody was
quiet.
saying. Melody was saying, whenever people ask me about your situation, I always say it's none of my business. Ask them, and that's what he should have done
Right.
too. So him giving the statement was unwarranted. So, but see me, I can't wait for Melody and Masao to just sit down. That's gonna be epic because the back and forth, it's even much more interesting than him and Ladisha talking. I'm not gonna lie. It's always interesting. But I think that's where the episode ended. But I want to talk about the preview for next week's episode briefly. We saw that Kimmy and Destiny and Tisha met up and we're talking about the Sonny situation, meeting up with Sonny and having a conversation with Sonny. And Sonny kind of trying to say that they were not really that friends. And Destiny's explanation was like, I have a text message where she said six, like six. In my own, I was like, excuse me, young lady, just because I said sis in my text message doesn't mean I'm your friend. Like,
But it said, I miss you, sis. I miss you.
I miss you. Oh my,
I
see,
don't say I miss you to coworkers. You say I miss you to people. The
did she?
mailman. I
No,
miss you.
not necessarily.
But I'm going to, one thing I'm going to wait for is for the episode to really drop for, because I'm tired of always saying things. And one thing I'm not going to go with in this season is you will just say things with your mouth and you don't show us the evidence. So if you're telling me that there's a text message on your phone saying I miss you, sis, I want to see the message. I want to see the text message clear on my screen, because we say a lot of things with our mouths. We can talk. That's what our mouths are meant for. We can build a mansion with our mouth. We can, you can travel to Rome with in your mouth while you are still in your living room. So I'm not gonna stay for the fact that people are saying things with their mouths and not showing it. But still, me, I feel like friendship needs to. Sometimes you need to understand what's your, you know, For me, I don't know. For me, my own friendship, all my friends that I have, I don't have much. I don't keep much friends. I know that there's a level to our friendship. There's a certain way I talk to this person, you know, there's a certain way I talk to this particular person too, and they are my friends. And sometimes you might be thinking you're somebody's friend, but the person does not see you as their friend. I know it has happened to a lot of people. You are thinking that, oh, this person is my friend, but you find out that, hey, you were never in the person's agenda as a friend. So and I would say that I feel like that was the situation with Destiny and Sonny. That probably Destiny was thinking that she was her friend, but unfortunately, she wasn't. And the way Destiny was talking, like, when if you like when they were trying to say that let them meet up, and she was like, if I see you guys, if I see her, if she brings the fire, I'm like, who talks like that? Like, at the end of the day, she's married to this guy, and you're talking as if she just snatched your boyfriend, and maybe they are still dating as boyfriend and girlfriend. It's not like they're married. Like, have a little bit of self-respect. That's what I just felt in that situation. I don't know how you felt about the preview. How did you feel about the preview for next week's episode?
Um, I think it's going to be definitely more interesting than this one was. Um, I just wanted to just add in when Kimmy and Letitia was talking to Melody, how they said, well, uh, Destiny was your friend, and what, you don't trust her, and how Melody kind of hinted around like, you know, basically how she my friend when she's hanging out with my ex. You know what I'm saying? Basically, she chose Martell over Mel. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It was just some kind of innuendos going around. Like, does Melody think that they slept together before, or you know? But I think next week, hopefully, we'll dig a little deeper and find out really what's going on. I'm interested to see Chris and Martell, with the side chick comment, you know. So I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, I really, I myself, I can't wait for next week's episode, because it seems like next week's episode is going to be much, much better than this episode. And let's see how it's going to play out. Well, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like and comment on this video. If you're new here, click on the subscription button down below to subscribe. Thank you for hanging with us. Subscribe to Unfiltered Uzo's YouTube channel, and also Shoprite TV's YouTube channel. She was here recently. Subscribe to her channel. Thank you, Living for Your Girl, for joining us. We'll see you guys same time next week. And thank you for all those that were in the comment section, um, Miss Anne, Miss Mame. Thank you very much for being on the comment section, chatting up with us. We hope to see you guys same time next week. Have a nice day, guys.